What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Tuesday, July 12th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 13 game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. So the stud on the slate that I like the most just happens to be the most expensive pitcher on the slate is Gerrit Cole. And he's pitching against a low salary batting team, the Cincinnati Reds. Gerrit Cole only giving up a .624 OPS versus righties, facing 6 righties here tonight. The Reds have only hit 16 of his last 61 pitches. That's a .262 batting average. He's $10,600 FanDuel salary, 100 less on DraftKings. Averaging 38 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 3.26. Record is 8-2, pitching an average of 95 pitches per game. So I like Gerrit Cole here versus the Cincinnati Reds. Now, Logan Webb is a stud pitcher that I like as well. But if we want to look at some lower salary pitchers that are in good spots, I also like Corey Kluber. He's got a pretty good matchup here versus the Boston Red Sox. He's $8,400 FanDuel salary, 400 less on DraftKings. But even less expensive than Corey Kluber. Actually, on FanDuel, this pitcher is less expensive, but he's more expensive on DraftKings. So I guess the way I would play this is on DraftKings, I like Corey Kluber. And then for FanDuel, I like Mike Clevinger. He's got a nice pitching advantage here over the Colorado Rockies. Mike Clevinger is only giving up a .512 OPS versus righties. He's facing 7 righties here tonight. And on top of that, the Rockies have only hit 6 of his last 36 pitches. That's a .167 batting average. So Mike Clevinger is only $7,400 FanDuel salary, but he is $1,700 more on DraftKings. So again, I like Corey Kluber on DraftKings and Mike Clevinger on FanDuel. Now Mike Clevinger averaging 24 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 3.34. Record is 2-1, pitching an average of 78 pitches per game. So I like Mike Clevinger on FanDuel here versus the Colorado Rockies. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. So I like Will Smith, but I also like Nathaniel Lowe. He's got just a 5% batting advantage here over a low salary pitcher, James Caprillion. Nathaniel Lowe batting a .748 OPS versus righties, and James Caprillion giving up a .818 OPS versus lefties. So I like this pick because Nathaniel Lowe is 5 for 15. It's a .333 batting average and a .911 OPS versus Caprillion. He's $3,300 FanDuel salary, only 300 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He has a batting average of .281. So I like Nathaniel Lowe here versus James Caprillion. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Luis Arraez with a 61% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Jason Alexander. Luis Arraez batting 28% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .836 OPS versus righties. And Jason Alexander pitching his worst ball by far to lefty batters, 33% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .130 OPS versus lefties. Now there's no at-bats versus Alexander yet. Luis Arraez, 3,300 FanDuel salary, 1,500 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, and he has a batting average of .348. So I like Luis Arraez here versus Jason Alexander. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. A stud that I like is Austin Riley. He's got a 6% batting advantage over David Peterson. Austin Riley batting a .903 OPS versus lefties. David Peterson giving up a .753 OPS versus righties. But I like this pick because Austin Riley is 5 for 10. It's a .500 batting average and a 1.345 OPS versus Peterson. He's 3,900 FanDuel salary, 1,600 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He's been on fire, scoring 19, 32, and 31 fantasy points in his last 3 games. Then he scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games with a batting average of .282. So I like Austin Riley here versus David Peterson. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Now, I also like Bobby Witt Jr., and if you're looking for a value play here, take a look at David Villar, only 2,000 FanDuel salary, same price on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, having scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He's looking like a pretty nice value play on the slate. So let's take a look at the shortstop position. Another stud in a great spot here is Trey Turner with a 33% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Matthew Liberator. Trey Turner batting 14% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .948 OPS versus lefties. Matthew Liberator pitching 18% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .859 OPS versus righties. Now, there's no at-bats versus Liberator yet. Trey Turner is 3,900 FanDuel salary, 1,500 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He has a batting average of .301. So I like Trey Turner here versus Matthew Liberator. Another guy at the shortstop position I like is J.P. Crawford. So keep an eye out on him. But moving on to the outfield position, we got a couple of home run hitters on the slate here with Aaron Judge and Mookie Betts. They're both 4,200 FanDuel salary. Aaron Judge, 1,900 more on DraftKings. Mookie Betts, 1,700 more on DraftKings. So either of those guys could hit one out of the park here tonight. But let's see if we can find a lower salary outfielder that we like. Yeah, so we got a value play here. Take a look at Nelson Cruz with a 13% batting advantage over Chris Flexen. Nelson Cruz batting a .761 OPS versus righties. Chris Flexen pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .811 OPS versus righties, 17% worse than his other pitches. I like this pick because Nelson Cruz is 4 for 7. It's a .571 batting average and a 1.127 OPS versus Flexen. So Nelson Cruz is 2,800 FanDuel salary, 1,200 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, and he has a batting average of .241. So I like Nelson Cruz as a value play here versus Chris Flexen. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.